Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whenever you are. Welcome to a new DC live stream. I'm your host, Matthew Batiri, with my co-host once again, Wasim Debussy. How are you, my friend?
I am always, as always, outstanding. Been another crazy week in the cryptoverse, right?
That's right, yeah. It's also been good to have the boss back, take a bit of load off our shoulders. I feel like my lower back's really sore, carrying the team this last 7 weeks.
Funnily enough, I'm the one who walk around with back pain.
Guys, if you are watching us, please drop us a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We'd like to know where our viewers or how far our viewers are watching from. It's always great to know. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments section below. As always, we've got plenty to get through, lots of interesting stuff in the week. But my friend Wasim will take us away with the weekend. With the news highlights. Wasim, take it away.
Awesome. And thank you for your comment. Always good to see you on watching us, and hello to everybody else. Guys, let me know if you can't hear me, because Matt was saying that my sound was cutting out. So I've got a bit of an internet issue at the moment. I do have a ticket up on my provider. So if you don't hear me, just put a comment and we'll get Matt to take over. So starting off, Solana ecosystem has been hit by hack draining millions of crypto from 8,000 hot wallets. Now, first of all, let's talk about what a hot wallet is versus a cold wallet. A hot wallet is a wallet that's connected to the internet, that's online, such as it's connected to DeFi, etc. A cold wallet is something like a hardware wallet like this, which is not connected to the internet, and your crypto is much safer in there. So that's important for us to know. This attack is affecting internet-connected wallets on iOS and Android, which also leads us to what we always teach our members, which is to try to minimize any or avoid any crypto on your phone. Don't put your wallet on your phone. You can lose your phone. People can hack into it and whatnot. Anyway, this is a little bit different. So hackers have targeted Solana ecosystem, draining crypto funds from thousands of hot wallets connected to the internet. Although such attacks are common, they still don't know the significance of this. And what they're saying is that hackers have been able to steal both Solana coins, so Sol, as well as some of the Solana stable coins such as USDC. The attack is still ongoing, and we still don't know how much they have actually taken. The reports have been things like $8 million so far. So Solana has actually struggled with a bit of security in the past year or so. Hey, Zelina, is it lagging at times, but sound is good. Thank you, Zelina. Appreciate that. So Solana has struggled with security incidents in the past, including bot spams, distributed denial of service, DDoS attacks, and other things. So it's not the first time that Solana has found itself in a bit of hot water. However, one of the founders of Solana said that this is mainly to do with attacks on supply chain. So it's mainly targeting people who have Solana wallets on their phones, iOS, and Android. So the message here, guys, if you have any crypto that you want to hold on for long term, it's always a great idea to have a hardware wallet, and always transfer your crypto to your hardware wallet where nobody can touch them. They're always safe there. Okay, moving on to the next one. And this is an interesting one because Bitcoin fanatic Michael Saylor, who's I'm a huge fan of Michael Saylor, steps down as MicroStrategy CEO. And he's done this because he's moving over as an executive chairman, and he wants to now double down on the Am I there? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
Am I back, Matty?
You're back. Can you hear me? You're back. Wasim, you're back, mate.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So Michael Saylor is a big Bitcoin advocate. For those of you that don't know who he is, he was the CEO of MicroStrategy, which is a publicly traded company over in the US, and they've acquired something like 120, almost 130,000 Bitcoin to the value of almost $3 billion at current prices. So what he's basically saying is, I will remain an executive officer of the company and chairman of the board of directors, and will be assuming the chair of investment committee and leading our Bitcoin acquisition strategy. So what Michael Saylor really wants to do is just really focus on Bitcoin and acquiring Bitcoin and educating more and more Bitcoin, educating more and more people about Bitcoin and how important it is for the future of humanity. So he was carefully considered and planned at the board leadership for many, many years. So he has been planning this for many years. They have been expanding their team. They've brought on a new guy, I think his name is David, and now they're looking at working full-time he's looking full-time at Bitcoin and Bitcoin strategies and making Bitcoin their reserve asset, and also helping other companies do the same thing and educating the world. So I always love listening to Michael Saylor and his views and why Bitcoin is, as he calls it, the apex predator to any investment strategy out there. So it's good to see him out there pushing the Bitcoin narrative. Next up, we have...
before you go, I thought you were going to at least plug the Australian CryptoCon where you'll be able to see Michael Saylor.
Oh, yes. I totally forgot about that. Thanks,
Lucky
mate.
I'm here. Lucky I'm here running the show.
You are. What would I do, mate? You always keep me honest. So, guys, if you do want to see Michael Saylor, it's a great segue. Thank you, Matty. If you do want to see Michael Saylor, he is speaking at the Aussie Crypto Convention happening on in the Gold Coast, I think 16th and 17th of September, right?
That's right, yeah.
And we do have a special discount code for you guys. Anyone that wants to go, type in the discount code BSDC, as you can see it on the screen, and get 50% off the price of the tickets. So we'll definitely be there. Michael, myself, Matt, Irene, a few other people from the business are going to be there. We'll be there for the full 2 days. So if you are going to come, make sure you come and say hello. We're not holding a stand this year, but we are definitely advocating if you want to get into and understand. 17th and 18th. That's right. Thank you, Zelina. So 17th and 18th of September, not 16th, 17th. I was off the mark by one. But definitely, guys, would love to see you guys come to this event. Check out the discount code, and would love to see you there and learn together and find out more about what's happening in the crypto world in Australia.
Yeah, make sure you write down the discount code, guys, because I just checked. Tickets are $250. So they're not cheap tickets. So yeah, make sure you write down BSDC. We will have a 20% discount next week. So this discount is only available till the 10th of August. 10th of August, that leaves you 5 days to use this discount. So we will let you guys know again on Monday, because there will probably be only 24 hours or 48 hours left. So make sure you write that down and grab your tickets today. Wasim, I'll give it back over to you.
Thank you, Matty. Thanks for reminding me of that. All right. So next up we have, I'm on the wrong page. Okay. So next up we have Bitcoin has already bottomed and its fair value is $40,000, according to Skybridge Scaramucci. I think I said his name right, as he suggests. So what this guy's saying is, so Anthony Scaramucci is a big Bitcoin advocate. He has his own private fund of a hedge fund where people invest into cryptocurrencies as well as into other assets. So he's come out and said that even after the market-wide sell-off and all the things that have been happening with the Luna collapse and Celsius and BlockFi, everything else, he believes that this has now blown out and got all the leverage out of the market, and now we are seeing the bottom, and he believes that the fair value for Bitcoin right now is around $40,000. So anybody that's picking up Bitcoin at the current price of $23,000, you're getting almost a 50% discount on what the current fair value of Bitcoin is. So what he says is, according to our fair market value metric, based on adoption, wallet size, use case, growth of wallets, we think the fair market value for Bitcoin right now is around $40,000. He believes that all the leverage has been blown out of the system because of what's happened with Luna, Celsius, and other brokerage like Voyager, Three Arrows. He says that we believe that the leverage has been blown out of the system, and now we are looking at rising. Now, he doesn't say that we are going to be continue going up from here. He does say that we are going to be It's still some volatility along the way, but it's a good time to be dollar cost averaging in. And yeah, so that's it from that one. Let's move on to the next one. Cardano-based smart contracts surpassed 3,000 mark for the first time. So Cardano launched their had a network upgrade back in September 2021, which included the incorporation of smart contract functionality, making it capable to have DeFi as well as smarter, faster performance and better and stability. Now, what they're looking now at the next update called the Vasil hard fork update on the horizon, plus the Plutus Scripts, which is a Cardano-based smart contract platform, and they have hit now over 3,000 smart contracts as of the 1st of August and 3,015 as of the 2nd of August. So they have gone under a little bit of some critics have spoken negatively around the smart contracts with Cardano because they did have a bit of a rocky start, but Charles Hoskinson, who is the founder of Cardano, has come out and said that these updates are necessary to safeguard and ensure that smart contracts compatibility are here for the long term. And he believes that the trolls are just saying silly things to have fun in the market. So this is great. I'm a big believer of the Cardano ecosystem, and it's one of my biggest holdings. It's good to see them moving forward and good to see more use cases coming into the Cardano ecosystem. Cardano is one of those tokens that we believe will be around for the long term. Next up, we have NetFlow suggests bullish crypto market momentum as from Bank of America. So Bank of America's recent report has said that due to the on-chain activity, so some of the things that Matt talks about, where we're seeing, how many wallets or how many Bitcoins are moving onto exchanges or off exchanges and where the stable coins are going. So this tells us what the market is telling. There's no market out there that you can see this type of activity like you see on the blockchain. So the Bank of America has come out and said, well, due to so many Bitcoins leaving exchanges, which means that Bitcoin holders are not looking at selling. They're looking at preserving their Bitcoin. They're doing the right thing. They're moving it off exchanges into cold storage like a hardware wallet. And more stable coins coming onto exchanges is showing that, the whales and the investors are now looking at buying more and more Bitcoin, and they believe that this is a very bullish signal in the market. Now, Matt will be going through a bit of market updates, so keep an eye out on that. I think that's it from me, and over to you, Matty, with the Twitter highlights.
Thank you, Wasim. Alrighty, guys, over to the Twitter highlights. The first one is from our good old friend Peter Schiff. I can think of no better example of chickens coming home to roost than what is happening now with central banks and inflation. The long overdue adverse consequences of years of quantitative easing and ZIRP have finally arrived. This is the tip of the iceberg. What lies beneath is catastrophic. So he's basically simply saying that the money printing that the Fed have done will have and has had catastrophic effects, and we're starting to feel it now with higher levels of inflation. It's growing more than the 2% that they're expecting year on year out. And this effect is from the centralized form of money, how these governments have complete control over the economy, and Bitcoin is obviously the way to remove that stranglehold over the economy and a currency. Obviously, he's not a big believer in Bitcoin, so he's not referring to Bitcoin, but that's what I'm saying in regards to why we should get into Bitcoin. Moving on to the next tweet by Chris Dunn. 3 Bitcoin trade setups that have made me millions. Breakouts in bull markets. Bounce plays when Bitcoins crash 30% in a few days. Scaling and accumulation ranges when prices are down 80% from all-time highs. I ignore most price action that does not fit these setups. So super simple and effective investing strategy. So I definitely want to state that this is an investing strategy, not a trading strategy. And I recommend doing the same thing with blue chip altcoins, things that are in the top 20, Ethereum, Polygon, Matic, as you may know of, Polkadot, Cardano, if it picks up its act. But basically, this is a great strategy for anyone that's not doing any leverage trading to definitely accumulate more Bitcoin over time, and also an easy way to trade. But basically, you have to have the cojones to do it, because sometimes when we crash, people are fearful that the world is ending, so they don't want to get into the market. Next one, altcoin daily. Bitcoin at 22K was a pipe dream years ago. Look, obviously the price of Bitcoin right now is fairly good, especially where, I will assume and with pretty good confidence. So we're going to hit at least a 6-figure Bitcoin in the next bull run. So that's a 5x to where we currently are. And a lot of people are feeling bad that, they're not even entering the market right now. And I think it's a bit of a mistake. The same way that I made a mistake in 2018. I saw my 2 Bitcoins go from 20K USD to $3,000. I didn't know anything about trading. I didn't know anything about cryptocurrencies. And I wish I had bought more at $3,000. And as I saw it rise up to 14,000 over 2018, 2019, I was kicking myself. And as I learned more, I was like, man, I just let the best buying opportunity of a lifetime go past. But had that second chance come COVID crash, and I didn't make the same mistake. So guys, now is a great time. We're creating lower highs in the the big scope of Bitcoin. If you zoom out, we can always see that we're trending up and to the right. And look, whenever we're 80% down from all-time highs, it's never a bad time to start buying some Bitcoin. Next from Robert Kiyosaki, what did school teach you about money? Wonder why. Hitler said, let me control the textbooks and I will control the state. Hitler is responsible for the death of 35 million euros in Europe, civilian soldiers, minorities, and Jews. So basically, we must admit that a lot of our beliefs are influenced by the school system, and people want us to be the slaves to the system, be in debt and follow the status quo. And just as an example, my nephew, he actually studies economy at university. I'm like, oh, surely they cover blockchain and cryptocurrencies. He said, not one thing. They still want to teach you the old financial system. They still think that that's the best way to go. But since we've debacked ourselves from the gold standard in 1971, it's been a horrible system. So guys, the writing is on the wall. We've been preaching it since Bitcoin's inception and since the inception of this DC live stream. It's super important that you start investing in digital assets. Not financial advice, do your own research, but that's what we are, and we're obviously reaping the rewards. Last tweet by Lark David, stack sats and live free. So sats are the fractions of a Bitcoin. So one Bitcoin is obviously worth $23,000 US, maybe out of your price range to buy a whole one, but you can actually buy fractions. I'm pretty sure you can buy Bitcoin fractionalizes up to 100 million Satoshis. So you can buy 1 Satoshi, which is fractions of a cent. You can buy 100 Satoshis. You can buy 1,000,000 Satoshis. You don't have to have 100 million Satoshis, which equals 1 Bitcoin. You can buy fractions. And that fraction is going to be worth millions in the future. I do believe in our lifetime, Bitcoin will hit $1 million. Maybe in your child's lifetime, there might be something that supersedes Bitcoin. Maybe Ethereum does overtake Bitcoin. But right now, Bitcoin is the big dog. It is the godfather. It is everything that we need to know. It is the most stable. It is the most decentralized. And right now, if you can't even grab 0.001 or 0.01 or 0.1, then I would definitely be working my ass off to try and at least get that, because it will definitely change your life in the future. Alrighty, we're on to the adoption highlights. So I'll bring Wasim back in. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maddie. All right. So first up, we have, Socios.com invest $100 million to accelerate Web3 innovation in Football Club Barcelona. So there's actually quite a lot that we're going to speak about in terms of football today. There's a lot of adoption happening in the sports arena. So basically what they've done is they're investing $100 million, which gives them 24.5% stake in the club. And they're doing they're going to be creating fan tokens, as well as allow fans to be able to mint NFTs and other digital assets, which then they can stake into DeFi projects, play to earn games, as well as the mainnet, which is launching in Q4 this year. So earlier this year, Barcelona, FC Barcelona partnered with Socios.com to launch their S-Bar fan token. And that sold $39 million worth of tokens, which reached a top of $79.26 prior to the current crash. Right now, it's down 92%, so it's a good buying opportunity, and it's only at $6. In April this year, Socios.com also signed a 3-year deal with Argentinian football star Lionel Messi as a global brand ambassador, where he will promote the platform to his 400 million followers as per the deal. Now imagine that, guys. You've got someone promoting cryptocurrencies to 400 million people, and how many of those fans are going to adopt these cryptocurrencies? It's people like this that are going to make a difference in the industry, and they're going to continuously drive more and more people towards cryptocurrency. We are still very, very early in this industry, and I think it's like 1 or 2% of the world's population, are aware or have cryptocurrency. So getting in now is such a great time. Obviously, not financial advice. Next up, we have Brazilian. Brazil might approve, and let me just scroll up a little bit. So Brazil might be approving their cryptocurrency law this week. So according to local news reports, they might be reviewing and making a judgment on the cryptocurrency laws this week. Now, Brazil is about to go into election on October 2, so that may delay things with the cryptocurrency bill. But overall, this bill will be looking at creating a single regulator which will overlook cryptocurrencies and legalize mining, look at tax, look at green projects, look at renewable energy. But overall, they're looking at punishing cryptocurrency scams and also making such activity or fraudulent activity on the blockchain to be a crime, which is obviously a very favorable thing towards cryptocurrencies. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's only a matter of time before we have a large country where it will adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. And when that happens, there will be a massive, massive news around the world and will change things around in the cryptocurrency world. Alrighty, next up, Oxford City Football Club to accept Bitcoin for match day tickets. So I said to you guys, there's quite a bit of information, quite a bit of news around football clubs and cryptocurrencies. So Oxford City Football Club is now going to be accepting Bitcoin for people that for their fans who can buy tickets, they can buy food, they can buy drinks at the game and at their stadium. They can do all of that on the Lightning Network, which we have spoken about a little bit in the past. But they also obviously going to still allow the legacy payments. So what they basically said, they're saying here that they've struck a multi-year deal with Coin Corner, which is based in the UK, and they're going to have Bitcoin on the back of their shirts to promote Bitcoin to the fans. So they're saying that we believe this move will set the trend across non-league and football league divisions as digital currency establishes itself as the new normal for sport fans and event goers across the UK. They also went on to say that what they've seen is there's been more than 3.3 million people living in the UK who now own Bitcoin, which is an increase of 1 million people in the past year alone. They say that it's not mandatory to engage in technology, but we believe that in time, paying in Bitcoin will become the new normal in English football. So this is showing you that no matter where you are in the world, whether it's Latin America, whether it's Europe, the UK, Australia, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are taking a big, big part in our life, and they're going to be a big part of the future of the world that we live in. Next up, this one, I think I've read this one before, but it looks like it's made the news again. But maybe it's a different brand. I've had so many different, luxury brands that I've spoken about that keep adopting cryptocurrency payments. So Sheeb, Doge, as well as other cryptocurrencies are now going to be accepted by Hublot Giant, which is a luxury brand. So what they're saying here is the watchmaker has partnered with BitPay. Now BitPay seems to be going on a real run at the moment. They're signing up people left, right, and center to accept crypto payments and Bitcoin payments. Their system allows for people to pay by Bitcoin, by Ethereum, by Shiba Inu, Doge, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, as well as USDC and DAI. So basically, you connect your MetaMask wallet through BitPay, and you pay for the goods and services online using your cryptocurrency. So these guys have been growing, and I think it was only last week that I reported that they also They also did a deal with the Swiss market, the Swiss travel agent called Kion Business Travel, and who also now accepting Bitcoin. So it's more and more people, more and more companies, more and more businesses adopting Bitcoin, adopting cryptocurrencies, and we're going to we'll all be able to spend our Bitcoin and our crypto and anything that we want very, very soon. Lastly, but not least, is nearly 75% of retailers plan to accept cryptocurrency payment within the next 2 years. So more and more reports keep coming out. Now, this is mainstream media, guys. This is coming out from CNBC. It's a report by Deloitte that has basically said that I think they surveyed 2,000 senior executives from retail industries that across fashion, cosmetics, electronics, food, beverage, transportation, and all of these 75% of these executives said that they are looking at accepting cryptocurrency and stablecoin payments within the next 2 years. Now, whether they transfer that to fiat or not, that's not the point. The point is they're seeing that there's more and more demand for businesses to accept cryptocurrencies, and hence they are now looking at adopting cryptocurrencies. 83% of retailers said that consumer interest in digital currency is increasing, and most of them have spent over $1 million into enabling digital payments, according to the survey. That's it from me, Maddie. Over to you for the what are you doing now? You're doing the market analysis, and then I'll come back with the financial education.
We'll see you soon, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty, guys, let's have a look at the market update. Alrighty, so bear with me with all these lines. I want to sort of give you guys some indications of where things may happen. So we're on the 4-hour chart. The green boxes are areas that I was looking to long. Obviously, got a nice little position this morning. And these red boxes above is where I believe we're going to see a bit of a pullback with Bitcoin. So right now, things are kind of looking pretty good. We failed to get a solid crossover of the 20 and the 50 EMA on the 4-hour. These are the exponential moving averages. So because of what's happened here, I do think the Bitcoin is going to try and finally push up to around about $26,500, which I had spoken about many times in the previous live stream. So if we do fail to break the previous high here of 24,600-ish, then Bitcoin will probably come back down to 21,300, but things are looking good. So if we move over to the DXY has been pulling back over the last couple of weeks, and we've been talking about this over the last few live streams. Bitcoin has an inverse relationship with the DXY. When the DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. When the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Right now, it's had a bit of a pullback, and I think it's going to probably come back down more, which means that Bitcoin should obviously try and push towards that 26,500. So that's something that I've been looking at. Another thing that's been sort of interesting as well is the Bitcoin dominance. So ever since we hit a high dominance of $48,000, you basically could say that altcoin season was ignited for the past, 3 weeks? Let's have a look. If I measure it out from here to here, 55 days. So the last month and a half, it's kind of been altcoin season. So you've probably seen a few of your favorite altcoins had a couple of pumps. I know that Matic did a pretty good job, went from 30 cents to about $1. I know a lot of the virtual metaverses, Sandbox, Mana, etc., have also done well. And this is because Bitcoin obviously retraced. It looks like it's hitting this trend line right now. So I look forward to sort of seeing Bitcoin outperform altcoins in the next little while if we do bounce from here. If we obviously break through this trend line, we'll come back down here where we had support 1, 2, 3 times. So don't be too worried. This Bitcoin dominance is something that you tend to look at to see, hey, should I be shoving some of my profits from altcoins into Bitcoin or vice versa? So right here looks like it'd be not a bad time to put some of those altcoin profits back into Bitcoin. Not financial advice, just something that I'm doing because I feel like we're going to get a bounce here and Bitcoin's going to start outperforming the likes of ETH and all the other altcoins that have been doing really well. Right here, this is one of the charts that some people look at right now. It's saying that it's not altcoin season. I don't believe that. Like I said, I think it's been altcoin season for the last little bit because Bitcoin dominance did come down and we saw some of the high-profile blue chip altcoins do really well. The fear and greed index is at 31. I'm going to talk about in a second the increase in open interest, which basically means more leverage coming back into the system after it got wiped out with 3 arrows, Celsius, and so forth. So we're going to have a look at that in a second. The percentage of Bitcoin on exchanges still dropping. We can see that as Bitcoin is slowly climbing up, that the number of Bitcoin on exchanges has still or is still coming down. If I zoom in a little bit, this is always still good news. People putting it in hard wallets such as a Ledger or a Trezor. They don't want to put anything on exchanges. We all know what happens with exchanges at the moment. People were staking in Celsius, lost a lot of their funds when they declared bankruptcy. But the other thing as well is less coins on exchanges just means that there's going to be more volatility in the market. I do, like I said, expect a bit of a push to the upside. If I see a push to the upside and I see this orange line go up, it basically means I think a few people are going to be looking at selling Bitcoin. If you basically look at history, orange line goes up, price of Bitcoin goes down. So it's just really interesting to note that. Here we go. Here's another one where we had this other cascading effect from 30,000 to 20,000. We had an increased spike of Bitcoin movement on exchanges, and then obviously it created a price dump. This is all available, by the way, guys, on Glassnode. I think they do have a free account. They got, I think, 3 types of prices. Obviously, you can go for the professional, which is very expensive, $7.99 US per month. But at least you can see what the big whale wallets are doing. When they're moving things around, that's what moves the market. So it's always very good to be looking at those wallets and timing the market like the big guys are doing. Moving right along, number of addresses with non-zero balance. Good to see retail investors still accumulating the entire time. So all this is telling me is that adoption is still increasing. More people buying their first Bitcoin, their first Satoshi, and whatever. And therefore, we're seeing more wallets more wallets being created, which is a great thing because the more adoption means more liquidity entering the market, which means higher prices eventually. Stable coins coming down. Wasim did touch on this, that if stable coin numbers are going down, it means that people are spending their stable coins on cryptocurrencies. I do want to see this come obviously way back down. That means we're getting more liquidity back into the market. But right now we've got around about $28 billion of stable coins sitting on the sideline, ready to be injected into Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. And the last one to look at is the open interest of Bitcoin futures. We can see July was a good month. We saw this uptick in open interest once it got all flushed out with all those bad actors, Celsius 3, arrows, etc. People are coming back into the market, adding some leverage to their trading. And it's interesting to see because we do need some of this stuff to push the price in the right direction. But when we see people over leverage themselves, like these times back here in July and August 2021, it ends up getting flushed out. So it's now that we're back over sort of 10 billion, maybe we will start making a bit of a rise to about 15, 20 billion, and we might get another sort of flush out of all this leverage. Leverage is what gives the market volatility, unfortunately, but it's also what makes my job a lot more fun because no volatility makes me feel like I'm trading stocks, and I've never traded stocks. It's too boring, and that's basically it. Alrighty, going to bring Wasim back in. He wants to do a quick financial education Friday. Wasim, do you want to take it away?
Yes, thank you very much. Do you want to? Yeah, perfect. All right, guys. So with the financial education, or this is just general education, really, where I want to look at today, people want to understand, what is the Bitcoin halving? We've spoken about this a number of times, and we've spoken about that. I think Matt said this a little while ago, that we're probably halfway through the Bitcoin halving right now. So let's understand what the Bitcoin halving is and how that affects the bull run and the Bitcoin cycle. Basically, Bitcoin is, people don't understand what mining is. They hear about Bitcoin mining and they don't know what that is. I know when I first started, it took me a while to get my head around it. So what Bitcoin mining is basically, powerful computers or graphic cards that are constantly solving complex mathematical equations. Now, when they solve that on the Bitcoin blockchain, the blockchain then rewards them by giving them a Bitcoin or part of the Bitcoin. Now, 13 years ago, when the Bitcoin network was first launched, you could get up to 50 Bitcoin per block. So every 10 minutes, there is a block that goes onto the blockchain. Now, imagine 13 years ago, every 10 minutes, there was about 50 Bitcoin being created. Now, the Bitcoin algorithm has a supply and demand mechanism installed. So every 210,000 blocks, then those rewards diminish. It becomes half. So the first 4 years, or it's actually not 4 years, the Bitcoin cycle is not 4 years, it's actually 3 years and 10 months. That's how long it takes to create 210,000 blocks. So every 3 years and 10 months, or we round it up to 4 years, that becomes half. So 13 years ago, you could get 50 Bitcoin per block. Then after 4 years, you can get 25 Bitcoin per block. Then after another 4 years, it was 12.5 Bitcoin per block. And now it's around 6.25 Bitcoin per block. So right now, every 10 minutes, 6.25 Bitcoin is created around the world, which means we are creating around 900 Bitcoin per day. Now, when we get to the next halving in the next 2 years or so, and I think the next one is it May or April in 2024? So around May or April 2024, then that will become 3.125 Bitcoin per 10 minutes. Now, if you understand that the Bitcoin algorithm has a cap of 21 million Bitcoins, and every 4 years we're diminishing the amount of Bitcoin being created, that would mean that in the past 13 years, we've created about 18.5, 19 million Bitcoin. So it's going to take, for those of you that don't know, it's actually going to take for the next 2.5 or 2 million Bitcoin, 2 million Bitcoin, 21 million, 19 million, 2 million Bitcoin left. My maths is off today. So it's actually going to take us to 2140. So another 120 years before the last Bitcoin is mined. And the interesting fact is, in that last Bitcoin cycle, it's going to take 4 years or 3 years and 10 months to mine half a Bitcoin. Now, when you keep that in mind and understand that every 4 years there's less and less Bitcoin created, this is why the value of Bitcoin goes up. It's supply and demand. Every 4 years, there's more and more demand for Bitcoin coming out, and the supply of Bitcoin is diminishing. And this is what triggers the bull market. Now, when you understand this Bitcoin cycle, you really start to understand the value that Bitcoin brings and why it's going to continue growing in time to reach, we believe in 10 years, Bitcoin will reach $1 million. Some people believe, I've heard up to $12 million for Bitcoin. But imagine if Bitcoin gets to $100 trillion market cap in our lifetime, what the value of Bitcoin is. So I hope that explains to you what the Bitcoin cycle is. You understand now how it works, how the mining works. You understand that every 4 years we diminish by half how many Bitcoin we can create per block, and why it's so valuable to get to stack as much Bitcoin as possible. That's it for me, guys. Over to you, Matty.
That's it. Awesome. Well done. Well explained, Wasim. Guys, that is it for today's DC live stream. We went a little bit over time, but we love this so much. We want to stay back. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. We can get back to you at any time, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week. Don't forget, once again, the Australian CryptoCon is in mid-September. You get a 50% discount code with BSDC. It's only available until the 10th of August. It's based in the Gold Coast, so you'll probably need to fly to the Gold Coast if you're not local. And we look forward to meeting you if you're going to come to that event.
Awesome. See you guys there, and see you guys on Tuesday.